Andy Frisella?
Oh, I saw he is. I did see he's back on Instagram.
Yeah,
So I'm pretty stoked about that. Yeah.
yeah, and he's doing
I'm
75
not
hard.
doing
Oh my
I'm not
god.
So
doing
it is
75
fun.
hard. I just right now I'm training for an ultra. So it's like I kind of got to do like my own thing in that regard. So
What all do you have to do in an ultra? That's probably a dumb
Oh,
question.
no, it's
I'm
not.
just it's
Okay,
50
good.
miles in the woods. So
Really?
that's the
Oh,
easiest way to
wow.
explain it. Yeah. So
Damn.
it's one of those things I've been wanting to do for a few years, and I just kept putting it off. And then I ran my first marathon last year, and I was like, all right, I got to do this next. So
Did you do a full marathon?
I did a half, and then I did a full. Yeah.
We kind of want to do
So-
a full. We did a half. We kind of want to do a full. And we also want to do a Spartan race.
Ooh, that would be
Yeah.
fun.
That's
Yeah.
badass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of
Seb's
course,
training
when we
for
do our
high
half,
rocks.
You're training for what, Seb?
The what? Garrath?
High
I didn't
rocks.
hear you. Yes.
Oh, yeah. I was just talking to Amy about
I was
that the
like,
other
you just
day.
told me about that.
Yeah. Because I was like,
pretty
I feel
good.
like we could do that.
It's pretty good, you know. Also, it's been getting me in fighting shape, basically. Like my VO2 max is insane.
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel, it's been 3 months of doing high rocks. I feel great.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we have to do this
I
too.
don't know.
We'll add that.
I've kind of fallen in love with running. So, which is weird because like for a long time I just was not about that life. But I don't know, like it's like one of those things I have to do now, and it's just a great form of like thinking and meditation. And you know, I still love training. It's just I did powerlifting for like 4 years, CrossFit for like 6 years, and somehow I've ended up somewhere in the middle between like I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know where I get these ideas to just like do these like, yeah, let's go run an ultra, you know, like none of my friends want to do it with me. They're like, yeah, absolutely not.
Okay. Amy's the only one who will do it with me. So why did we end up signing up for the St. Jude half just on a whim?
Yeah. We can do this. We'll train. And we didn't train.
We didn't really. Yeah. But then we went to the first Forum headquarters in St. Louis, and it changed us. So we've been working out 3 days a week ever since. And I feel like now I'm like, I have to. Like it's in my DNA now.
Yeah.
Is that like not the coolest office building on the planet?
Coolest. Yeah.
It is.
We had the notion that we were going to go in and everyone was just going to be like so fit. And we were absolutely correct. And we were like, we're squishy. Yeah. We should not be here.
We're squishy. That's so funny. I'm fit, but I'm a little squishy.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's
like so on our ride home, we set up our stuff with Chris.
Yeah,
our personal. Okay, we're just going to go back to the gym.
Yeah,
we're on our way back from first form. We need to start this immediately.
I would love to go check it out, and then maybe we can get Sal or Andy to commit to a workout. That'd be fun.
Oh my gosh, I did shoot. They have a basketball court there, and I did shoot a basketball. I mean, I missed, but it was still
99% cool. Athlete, not 100%, but
that was my 1%. Yeah.
So you can't be great at everything.
What?
You cannot be great at everything, so you know.
I know.
Not being good at basketball is
basketball's it.
Sports keep us humble. So
yeah,
it works.
Yeah.
I couldn't go on a marathon. Like my knees would blow up, and I would be in a wheelchair forever. Like literally, my knees are not built for running.
Yeah, we had self-proclaimed compartment syndrome afterwards. We survived it though.
What's compartment syndrome?
Yeah, I was about to ask that. What is that?
I feel like this is a joke that I don't understand.
No, compartment syndrome. It's where it's like if you work out too hard, too fast, your muscles swell, basically, like they expand beyond what is normal, and then they stay. Yeah. And so, like a lot of people that do CrossFit and things like that will get compartment syndrome.
Or if you have like a crush injury, you can get compartment syndrome too.
Yeah. And so, like, say you've got compartment syndrome in like your lower legs, which is what I was convinced was happening after that half marathon. Like, they have to like cut it open to like relieve the tension.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's like a real thing. Wow. We didn't actually have it, but we were, self-diagnosed.
Oh my God. Yeah, I don't want any part
I
of
didn't know
that.
that existed. I'm not running any ultramarathons for any.
Right.
He's like, get it away
Yeah.
from me.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck all of that.
I was convinced that I had it, and then I was like, I've seen enough Grey's Anatomy. I know I can do this. I'm gonna be like that surgeon that had to like remove his own appendix. I was like that. I'm gonna solve my own compartment syndrome right here.
Leg day is the only day I really go crazy hard. It's like the thing I enjoy doing the most, but like everything else, I just play it safe. It's like, you know, I'm a 34-year-old dad. There's no reason to tear my pec off my shoulder. You know what I mean? Like,
Sounds awful.
yeah.
For me, it's the 2-hour kickboxing workout on Saturdays. I go all out on that thing. Like my heartbeat is at 204 BPMs for like 15 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, it's wonderful.
But we've
Mine
already
does it
decided
at
you're not
my phone
actually
call.
human.
Right.
Because of the caffeine thing.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay. So
yeah,
marketing and sales stuff. Are you ready for our topic for the day? That Kat and
after
I
talking about fitness, we got to talk about marketing and sales.
No, we're gonna go back to fitness.
We'll go back to
Everyone
fitness.
knows that I'm like
No,
still
I'm
reeling
kidding.
over.
I thought the people
No,
were
because
tuning
I'm
in for the
still
fitness
reeling over me and
conversation.
Kat's conversation because we're talking about people that we've worked with or just had conversations with before that they've worked with other groups for sales, marketing, whatever, and they don't get any analytics or insights back.
I
A
know.
group told
Yeah.
somebody, you have a good ROI, but didn't actually show them any numbers. Is that
That's
not
so
crazy?
wild to me.
I
Yeah.
know.
I was like, have you all ever
Every
dealt with
experience.
business owners that have had that experience? It can't
No.
just be us.
I can't, I think when I got into this space, like the RevOps consulting and stuff, it's just been crazy to me, the things that you hear that go on behind the scenes of like, what you see on LinkedIn versus what actually plays out in real life.
Yes.
And, we talked about this privately a while back, but, that really got me to kind of look at my network. And it's like, these people might be very well known. They might have a certain type of, personal brand on the surface, but like at the end of the day, when it comes to credibility, you just can't be tied back to those people. And a lot of it is kind of this, like, you get this feedback of like, well, we hired so-and-so because we were told that they were awesome at this thing, but then we worked with them and we got nothing that even equaled that. And this is, like you said, this isn't something that you hear every now and then. It is like a constant flow of we hired, this go-to-market training company, or we tried to implement this RevOps model from this renowned company, and it's like none of this works. And it's like, well, that's because most of this shit that they're pushing on people is theoretical. It's not in the trenches, frontline based, advice, consulting, or training. It's just all theoretical. Like, this is how we think it should go. So that's my opinion. Not to
seen something weird I have noticed, and it's happened to me being sales calls with companies from LATAM. They do not want to share revenue numbers. And like, what's your yearly revenue? They shut down. Like, I cannot share that. Yeah. You cannot share with me what's your yearly revenue. That's first of all, that immediately disqualifies you. But I still found it weird because it's happened to me with more than one. We don't share revenue numbers. Or inside marketing teams, something I've seen in the past is they don't share concrete data on the amounts of leads generated. How many leads did you generate? We met the quota. Okay. And the quota was, we made it. Like, why do you want to know more? Okay, but maybe I need this data. So it does happen that people gatekeep important information.
Right. Yeah. I think it's insane. And we had someone recently that, like, on the whole, them not wanting to share revenue stuff with you. Because I feel like there's extremes of it, of like, there are these companies that they won't share analytics. So then we go to the businesses to help and they go, we have no idea what has and hasn't worked because no one's ever given us insight. Like, they've just done the job and told us that the job is done, but we've never seen any numbers from it. Like, we have zero visibility on any of that, which is insane to me that that's even like an option. Because I'd be like, I'm paying you. I want to know what's going on and what's working. But then there's also this other side, which we had a person recently where we had all of our numbers. And on our side, you go, it looks like things are doing good. He had a completely different, like, track of what he was considering a success. And you go, okay, these aren't aligning at all. So let's talk about how historically you've gotten things. And he could not answer any questions for us of like, I don't know. Or everything was a secret. I know, but I can't tell you. It's confidential. And you go, well, we can't help you if everything's confidential. So come on.
I think part of the problem is, and this might be a shot across the bow to the entire industry, but you know, a lot of these agencies aren't being forthright with how the work is being accomplished, and they're afraid to admit that, hey, by the way, we've been siphoning this work off to $5 an hour talent over in the Philippines, and that's why it takes 3 weeks to get back simple projects. That's why it takes 3 weeks for us to give you an answer on anything, because we're not actually hands-on doing the work. We're just funneling it out for pennies on the dollar, and we're not really. And when that's happening, like naturally, just human behavior and human instinct is you get detached away from the results because you're not the one that's actually working on driving the results. It's not internal, it's all external work. And, you know, naturally, like, and then you go into self-preservation mode, like you said, when people start asking questions of like, okay, but how are you doing this? And this is something we ran into at my last company where, you know, we were doing a CRM migration and I just couldn't understand why there were things that were going to take 2 or 3 weeks that like, I was like, I could personally do this in like 10 minutes, 15 minutes or whatever. Well, it's because they have to add that buffer time for the fact that it's going to get done wrong 3 or 4 times before it gets done right. And it's like, you know, we scoped out a CRM migration a while back, and they came back to us and were like, hey, you're 3 times higher than the other guys. And I'm like, well, if you're going to have somebody for a $50 million company migrate your CRM at $50 an hour, good luck with that. Because in my head, I'm like, I already know the quality of talent that you're getting with that. So, you know, it's just like it's a big reason why we kind of pivoted out of RevOps, is because it's just become like, in a lot of ways, it's become a race to the bottom. And, you know, what you find is there's a lot of people that on the thought leadership side, they're great, but when it comes to executing, implementing, and optimizing, it's just not there. And that's the feedback you get from clients. That you don't hear about these things on LinkedIn, but this is the direct feedback you get from so many CROs and CMOs behind the scenes. And, you know, I think as an industry, we've just been too afraid to kind of like call these things out and just say, you know, there's a lot of people getting burned and like they don't have that time right now, like especially with where the market is today and where the economy is today. Like they don't have time for you to like spend 6 months figuring things out that takes 30 days. So that's my
no, and that's true. I mean, it is super frustrating too. And we've seen that a few times where they're working with us, but then they have a different group doing something else. And you go, why is it taking so long? Like we understand how this work is done. So why are you letting them tell you it's going to be 6, 8, 12 weeks or longer on something that you have no visibility into? And it shouldn't take 6 months. What's going on? But then on like pulling the curtain back behind some of the gurus, it cracks me up. And I've seen a few recently where, you know, they're chirping about, here's what you should do. Here's what you do for success. This is my recipe for success on how I have 1 billion followers, whatever. And then you also see they've got someone doing the work for them that doesn't match what they're telling people to do. And you go, you're just regurgitating something you heard someone else say. It doesn't work for you because that's not what you're doing. It never worked for you. Like, why are you all just copying each other? Like, gosh, damn it.
This happens a lot even in tech. I remember I was at this company where they were constantly selling agile workshops, and they were constantly pushing the agile mindset against waterfall, and this is what you need to implement in your organization because AI is coming, and yada yada yada. And then I was talking to somebody in management, and I go, okay, we preach agile so much. Don't you feel like the companies are be lagging behind in agility? Meaning a decision takes 3 months to get done, and 7 people have to look into it. And, you know, everybody from management to like the newly hired employee has an opinion on it. And they go, oh, well, yes, we are actually not the best example of agile, but we are very good at implementing it. I go, yes, that's a bit of a contradiction, right? Like you preach it so well. And then from the inside, it's like we are literally the most waterfall tech company in the damn market. and somehow then the revenue is struggling and you struggle to sell, and you only sell because your sellers have a great network, and you wonder why. Maybe it's because, you know, there's a lot of talk and there's no substance behind it.
Yeah, it is wild. That is, I do love it whenever it's, because we've seen a few people that, you know, they preach like that they're innovative and things like that. And then you go, why are we still doing practices from like 1992? Like, come on, hang on. We can't be like the most innovative company in the industry.
It's just, I think like, you know, me personally, like, I think I have a unique perspective because I've worked in the Series A startup. I've worked in the Series D startup. I've worked in the mid-market hyper-growth company, and I've worked at the public enterprise company with 400,000 employees, you know, leading go-to-market in 13 markets. Like, and, you know, you get this wide swath of experience and you realize that the fundamentals are really all the same. The fundamentals at the end of the day are really all the same. You just implement them in a way that, you know, is unique to your business, that actually, you know, applies to your business. But these like rigid frameworks, you know, like this pipeline architecture model that's really popular. I dug into that for 6 months. And I was like, in theory, this is great. In theory, this is great. But when you dig into it and everything, what you realize is, yeah, this is awesome. And you can have the greatest, you know, I'm trying to be like cordial here. I don't know how to say it. You know, you can have the greatest pipeline architecture model in the world, but if you don't have systems in place, you know, to get people to execute at the front lines at a high level on a consistent basis, none of that matters. And most of these frameworks, these rigid frameworks and these rigid ideologies and theories, none of them address frontline execution. And this is why, you know, you get a call on a Friday afternoon. It's like, hey, I've been following so-and-so, and it all sounds great, but then I don't think they actually know how to implement this because we hired them to bring them in. And so it's like, you know, those conversations happen behind the scenes. And it's like, because if you have that frontline experience of actually doing it, you realize what works and what doesn't. And this isn't like I'm not trying to like demean anybody or anything. I'm just saying the reality is, and having been in some of these orgs myself, that like marketing really is, I've been in orgs where marketing is the force multiplier. It's like, you got to be on top of your shit and you got to produce results. But then a lot of orgs, their marketing is really just kind of like, you know, you got the elevator music playing all day. Everybody's kind of joking around. We're pumping out like maybe one campaign a week. We're following up with leads from an event like 10 days later. It's just easy come, easy go. You don't know what high level execution really looks like. And I think a lot of the people that have come from those environments are attaching themselves to these theories and these frameworks that sound great, but like if you don't have the experience of how this actually plays out over time when you implement it, like, oh, hey, yeah, we invested $50,000 in implementing this data model, but we're still getting the same results. And that's because those junior employees that we hired, we never actually showed them or made it very clear to them, what do you need to be executing on a day-to-day basis to actually, you know, drive this forward. And that's where a lot of people struggle. It's just that I remember when I was early in my career and I was at a company and nobody held my hand or anything, showed me how to do my job. And it was just constant. Like, I felt like I was constantly behind the 8 ball of just like, I don't know how to execute. Like, we got a lead in, but like, okay, I hand it to sales. Like, what do I do from there? That's what people are struggling with. It's not because, yes, data is a piece of it. Data hygiene is a piece of it, but it's not like this idea that we're just going to fix the data model in the CRM and we're going to set up new automations and it's going to take care of all of our problems. It's like, that's 30% of it. The other 70% are the human beings that are actually working that. So that was my soapbox, and I'll step off.
Yeah, no, it's so true. I mean, and from the marketing side of things, I feel like a lot of times it will be one of those where, you know, like say a lead comes in, you go, okay, this needs to be passed off. This is we've qualified it. It's great. Let's pass it off. And they go, we don't know who to send it to. Hang on. Let's look at the PowerPoint slides that someone made that are beautiful, that outline the system and the flow, but we don't actually have a person delegated in any of these boxes. You go, what in the world? Why are y'all working on slide decks that show how things work, but there's no functionality to it at all? I mean, it's bizarre. And you go, processes are great. You still have to have implementation and execution thought through as well.
Yeah.
But
And
then
you
it's a
have to go
culture
through it
issue.
yourself too, because I think the other problem is a lot of people go, okay, here's exactly what we're going to do. Here's the person. It's going to be perfect. But then they don't actually communicate internally at all on any of it. And so you go, have y'all ever walked through this process? Well, no, but we're going to when we get a lead. And you go, oh shit. So this is never, it's never
Yeah.
going to work. Like this person
Yeah.
doesn't know to be expecting like
No.
this chain of action. So
Yeah.
cool. You'll follow up with them in 4 months and they won't remember that they ever reached out to you, but good job.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
So-
sometimes it comes down to culture, right? Meaning some
Yeah.
companies just don't have a culture of high performance. And this is, I hope some Europeans are listening because they're going to get mad. But this is a massive problem in Europe. There is a thing that one of my clients calls gummy bear culture, which is a term in Germany for, you let people do whatever the heck they want. And you never reproach them for lack of performance. Everybody has to be nice to each other because otherwise it's like some kind of mugging culture. So you cannot actually put any demand on the employee because otherwise they complain, they get sick, they burn out. And that's how you end up with marketing teams that, oh yes, we went to an event, here are the leads, we'll follow up with them. You look into the same event 3 months later, maybe 2 leads were followed up upon 3 months after the event. And they got completely lost. It's such a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the
Yeah,
ones that have
working-
huge budgets for events and then they go and they're like, oh, we were supposed to be talking to people.
Yeah.
Oh, we were just
arts
supposed
and
to be
crafts.
there and like,
Yeah.
share about it stuff. you
And
know?
like, how like in some orgs, like I was at a company and I was really blessed to have an amazing leadership team. And it was like, we want you attached to sale. I was a marketing ops / go-to-market ops. We want you attached at the right hip of the SDR team, the BDR team, et cetera, and like really be out in front of things. And then I leave that company, I go to another company, and like 2 weeks in, I schedule a meeting with the sales team. And like, I get a call on a Monday morning from my CMO. She's like, why are you scheduling meetings with the sales team? I'm like, is this not like a part of my job? Like, I am the marketing ops guy here. Like,
yeah.
shouldn't I be kind of out in front of things for them? No, you just need to worry about what you do. We'll worry about the sales team. And I'm like, well, what we're doing right now is certainly not working, which is why I was brought in. So maybe we need to take a little bit of a different approach. And that was actually at a European company. But it's just interesting. It's just interesting how egos can really destroy a culture without it. And a lot of times the C-suite is completely shielded from what's actually happening at the middle management level and the director level because everybody's trying to protect their ass.
Yeah.
Kind of like what Seth was saying, like there's a lot of people that just want to squeak out an hour or two a day and then brag about being a high performer. And it's like, that it's not really necessarily about the hours that you're putting in, but it's about the quality of the work that you're doing and the level of intention and really the level of pride that you hold yourself to with the work that you're doing. And if you have a culture that, hey, we all have to play it safe. I don't want you to outperform me I don't want anybody here to shine because we're all a loving family and everybody's equal. And that's great. That's awesome. But in the real world, you get smacked in the face. That's not gonna play out really well. And that's what throws a lot of these companies off is, we think Seb and I have been talking about this a lot. And I would love to hear your guys' opinions on this about how do you build trust in a culture? Well, it doesn't come because we get everybody hyped up and we get Seb and I show up and we're like, here's how you run sales, here's how you run marketing, and then we get a top golf after and we pat each other on the butts and we have a good time. That's not how you build trust. Trust starts at the individual level. I know what I need to execute on. When I can execute on that consistently at a high level, hey, guess what? My teammates trust me now. And then when we all trust each other to do that consistently at a high level, to at least like show up for each other and get our shit done, that's how you build alignment. Oh, wow. And then we have alignment through consistent high level execution. Now we have trust and credibility throughout the organization. And then we can kind of start breaking down those silos. This idea that we're just going to come in and break down silos and build trust through like these fluffy programs, it just doesn't work like that, in my opinion.
I saw a post first thing this morning from Tyson Green, and it started out with, you know, a good shepherd should smell like sheep. And I was like, and then it goes into basically that of like leading from the top. And I was like, that's the best way. Yeah. Because like trust, I feel like within a lot of organizations and things that we've come across that we've seen where you do have the C-suite that's very detached. Like everyone's got an idea. Everyone's got a slide deck of here's how it should work, or a spreadsheet of here's the operations, but none of them have ever been in roles where they actually execute. Like they started, like say for marketing, they started as marketing specialists where they were in the trenches doing the stuff. Then they moved up. And so that day-to-day work stopped. Well, marketing's evolved in the last few years while you've climbed the ladder. Now you no longer have that in the trenches viewpoint. You only know how to delegate out. That's great sometimes, but if you have somebody going, okay, I've been doing the day-to-day work, this isn't working, what now? If you can't answer that for them or give them some kind of direction, I can't trust you as a leader. I can't trust you can help me with this. And now I don't trust myself to get the job done because I ask a question, I don't have an answer for it. And so I feel like to get that, you know, good leadership and alignment, you have to be able to go, here, I'm doing the work, or at least I have done it recently enough that I can speak to it and know the answer and know how to like walk you back from it. And it's not just okay, well, why do you think this will work? Well, 15 years ago when I was a marketing specialist, I did XYZ for this one company and it went great. So, I mean, I think it takes a lot more than that. And I think just, you know, the ivory tower C-suites kind of can kill an organization and alignment real fast.
I think like basically collaborating on anything and everything, you know, having the transparency of, I don't know what I'm doing, can you help? And then collaborating together, I think that builds a lot of trust.
Yeah, I agree.
By the way, I think we gotta shout out somebody here because I see Lee Quesenberry is being super active in the chat. Hello, Lee.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, is he?
Also, Ivan Wood over there. Thank you. It's good to have people listening, and I'm glad we're saying actually smart things. So you know, it's rolling pretty well.
Thank you.
And by the way, ivory tower leadership should be dead. I think that should be an old concept. It doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. It drives me bananas too. The ivory tower leadership in itself drives me insane because I'm like, none of you know what's happening. Like you only know how to delegate. You only know how to assign tasks. You don't even know how to do them yourself. So you don't even know if the tasks that you're assigning are, you know, effective or necessary. But then it makes it even worse. These people that are like the fractional ivory towers. I have a whole soapbox on that of like, if the last time you practiced what you're fractionally offering was whenever trapper keepers were still on a middle shelf in Walmart,
David
I don't want advice from you.
That's so funny.
Man, I love trapper keepers.
Oh,
I
man.
did too. Great. So.
The fractional space is interesting because I've met a few who are just really amazing and you could tell they know their shit. I think really the underlying theme that we're talking about here is kind of deviates from marketing, that like if you know your shit, it shows up in how convicted you are about what you're talking about. It's something that you express subconsciously through your behaviors, through your inflection, through your voice. And people just need to know, like, if you're just pushing shit that you've never actually implemented so you can go make money off of people, like they can sense that. They can sense that from the moment you step in the room or you show up on the call, because it's in your voice inflection. It's in how convicted you are about it. It's in how you talk about it and articulate it. And people can feed off of that. And so it's like, you know, in your engagement pod group, it's all hunky dory, but outside of that, and like, this is, you know, something I went through when I first started this business was I never really was on LinkedIn much. And so when I first got on LinkedIn, I tried to join the traditional, you know, go-to-market RevOps crowds and stuff. And after a couple months, I quickly realized, like, this is actually going to destroy my credibility if I'm tied to a lot of these people, because I'm having conversations with prospects and they're joking about these engagement pod groups. They're like, yeah, we all see through the bullshit. And I'm like, after a while, I'm like, well, if I'm commenting and engaging and hanging out with these people, what does that say about me? I'm gonna get looped into that whole circle, and that's gonna ruin my credibility. And so, you know, like the incentives for a lot of this stuff is just it's completely flipped upside down. The incentives is about people growing their personal brand and growing their LinkedIn and this, that, and the other, not really being focused on helping the client achieve whatever they're trying to achieve. If you do that anyway, all the glory that you want in life will come your way if you actually just take care of the people that like are hiring you to take care of them. Anyway, that's
it is.
kind of how I
mean, you
see
can't
it.
spot them from a mile away, though. Like the thought leaders that can only resonate with other thought leaders, and you go, you don't really understand. Like, they're in an industry or they're in a role where you go, you should be able to speak to exactly what you're doing, like performative things, analytical. Like you should be able to speak deeper, and all they can do is speak wider. Of okay, well now I'm talking to thought leaders in this industry. Now I'm talking to thought leaders in this state. And you go, quit talking to other thought leaders. Tell us the thoughts. Like, what are you leading on? I don't care what you can sell to other marketers. Like, we're all learning the same stuff from the same places. Get a little deeper on it. And so, you go,
that's my issue.
Are you reading before you hit send? Come on.
That's my issue with most of these, with a few exceptions, but those are the hyper successful LinkedIn influencers in specific industries. They attract an audience of basically people that aspire to do what they do, or a bunch of juniors that want to get to their level. So their advice becomes a weekly rehashing of basic stuff that you find in any book that's $15 on Amazon. And then, okay, you have 20,000 followers.
And usually it's a book written by one of them. This is my
So you have 20,000 followers
and a thought leader.
You are supposed to be a thought leader, and everything I get from you is absolute basics. I never get actually any depth of thoughts from those accounts. It's like, okay, it's just repeat, like rinse and repeat for the beginners, for the juniors, for the people that do exactly what you do. When are you ever talking to about your actual clients, or do you have clients at all? Which that's what makes me think. Okay, you never talk to these people, so you cannot talk about their pain points because you just don't know them. But even more, you don't have the brains to even guess them. So then it becomes ridiculous.
It drives me nuts. And it's so funny because they speak to each other. They can't form thoughts on any of the things they're trying to teach about, because they're going, I have just regurgitated what Gary Vee said last year.
Oh God.
At the beginning of February, he said something that just set my soul on fire, and I can't wait to say it. And go, somehow along the way with thought leaders, and it's especially on LinkedIn, and you go, we tell people about like personal branding's great, love personal branding. For some of these people, you go, I feel like I'm saying personal branding and you're hearing personality, like a popularity contest, and it's not the same. Like the whole, like, people connect with people. Yes, they do. That does not mean this is like whose personality can outshine the next. I'm not saying like humanize your brand so that people go, oh my gosh, you seem so fun. I'd love to work with you. Like, I want you to be able to go, I have a personality, but also I can detach from that and be like, here's why your marketing sucks. Here's the numbers that you've been looking at that you shouldn't have. Here's the hill I'm going to die on to get you from point A to B. And you're probably not going to think I'm super cool after that, because I don't want you to work with me because you think I'm fun. I want you to work with me because you go, you speak the same language that I'm looking for. And you go, for all these others, it's like if I can say it in a cooler, more feminine way than Gary Vee, I bet I can land more clients. You go, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard of, guys.
And it's crazy, right? Because some people rely on that. I used to have this competitor. We don't do the same thing anymore. So I used to. And the first thing I was noticing is that I would create an idea, and this guy would pop up in my feed 3 months later with the same concept, slightly reworded. I was like, this is weird. So I started looking into his like website and looking into his clients, and all his reviews are like, oh my God, he's so great to work with. The workshop was so fun, so inspirational. And I go through like 20 of these, and then I realize, has this guy ever delivered a tangible result after a workshop? Is it all motivation? Are you the Tony Robbins of the thing we're doing? That people come here, they pay you $20K to like feel great about their company, and then they walk out. And that's what I know is some people are just workshop machines, but the workshops are pure fluff, unicorns and Teletubbies, and you never get anything out of it after 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I've not heard the term Teletubby in so
Oh my
long.
God.
I
Oh
haven't said
man,
it
that
so
was my
long.
show.
Yeah.
But it's so true. And I hate those people that are like, all they show is like their speaking engagements and things like that. And I'm like, have you ever, like, I'm all for it. Like, mainly because I'm scared to death of speaking engagements, because I'm like, oh my gosh, what if no one learns anything? It's not a, what if I don't get 10 testimonials about what a good time they had and how they exchanged fucking friendship bracelets at my event?
Yeah.
Did you learn anything? Did you go back and want to hire me at the end of this? Because if you didn't, then we both failed. But that's all they post about. It's like, I spoke at this. It was cool.
You know,
Here's an after party picture of me in the city. And you go, I've never seen anybody make a comment about like what it was like to work with you or how you did anything. Like I see your very farm testimonials, which drive me crazy because I'm like, I don't care who enjoyed working with you. I want to see what actually mattered. So please don't fill your website with just trash testimonials about how someone met you in Chicago and it changed their life. You didn't change their life. They forgot you by the time they got back on the plane. So
it's interesting you said that, because I think for me, my struggle was like dialing back my intensity. Like I'm just naturally a super competitive person, and I think it's a byproduct of my journey, just learning how to like augment that and everything. But like I'm speaking at an event in 2 weeks, and you know, everybody's like, we're setting up a happy hour for this, we're setting up a happy hour for that, this, that, yeah. And I'm like, dude, like I'm just not there with you. Like, can I get a group of people together that just want to go on a run and like go lift and then maybe just like chill and like, you know, like why does it have to
how
be?
we loop fitness back in.
Yeah, exactly. That like literally the only reason I'm trying to make money is so I could just travel and do fitness competitions on stuff, like whether it's running an ultra, whether it's you know, whatever it is. But that would be the life, honestly, if you just had the money to just travel and do like fitness competitions. And like minus like bodybuilding, that's not really like, you know, something I want to get into. But like I don't know, it's just and so like I think you made a good point, and maybe that's something you give me something to think about here, is like, you know, find a way to like extend that off of your personal brand of like, hey, listen, everybody else is going out to get drinks. The three of us, out of these 2,000 people that are here, the three of us, we're going to go get a workout in, go get a healthy meal, then maybe have a really like cool fireside chat, just talking about life and stuff. Like to me, like personal brand, your personal brand really forms over. It's Seb and I talked about this the other day, and he made an awesome point. And your personal brand is something that plays out over time, and it's really the byproduct of you delivering on all the things that you say you're going to do, and the things that you say you're about. Like Andy Frisella says, be about what you say you're about. Be about it. Don't just talk about it, be about it. And
I think there's an illusion though that people can hop on LinkedIn and manufacture that of as long as I put out the content and I'm controlling the whole narrative. And you go, that's not really how it works. I mean, it's just like anything else. Like it's how you follow through on everything. It's how you show up in your content. It's also how you show up when they see you at the grocery store or in your interactions with other people, or just in like how they work with you. You go, you cannot manufacture like good character and good intention. So you can have good content. It is not the same. Like your personal brand extends far beyond that. And I don't think anybody really gets, again, it's like they hear personal brand and they're executing a popularity contest. And you go, that's just, it's never going to be.
Personal brand is the fancy word for reputation. We've always had personal branding. Since the very first moment, like our society started having like the high priest and the ruler of the town, we had personal brands. It's just your reputation at scale now. What people don't realize is that if you are very cool on LinkedIn and then you're at the grocery store, but you're an asshole, your brand just got broken, because that person will see you on the feed and will say, hey, do you remember Seb? He acts so cool on camera. He barely talked to me when I say hi at the grocery store. He was so rude. Now that person is going to talk shit about you for the next 6 months every time they see you on the feed. So you can't, like, you know, I've been on the branding, on the brand strategy side. You can build a brand, you can manufacture a lot of it, but it has to be grounded in something real. Otherwise, it's gonna crumble at some point. You never know when, but it's gonna crumble.
It will catch up with you.
Yes,
it will always catch up with you. And there are some people in here that are the thought leaders that surface level, they look super successful, and you go, I know things that you don't want your audience to know, which means that other people know things that you probably don't want your audience to know. And you go, do you think that these people don't talk? Because they do. And you go, I'm not trying to like slight anybody's personal brand, but you go, you just can't hide under the manufacturer brand. You go, it will catch up with you. Like word of mouth, like, yes, social media is great for visibility and reach and all of that. And content's great for that. Word of mouth travels just as fast, whether you think so or not, or if you want it to or not. So you go, you have to be who you say you're going to be through all of it. So you can't just be fun.
Yeah. Nope. I'm totally with you there.
So you cannot be caught lying.
Man, we really came out of the gate firing today, and I love it. I feel like these are like,
I was like 40 minutes already.
I
also
honestly
don't
like
my personal brand to high priest of marketing. So I'm sorry, that is coming soon.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
You brought up a great point, which is from an influence perspective, meaning how much trust you gain from an individual. If you were able to speak on stage in front of 2,000 people, and out of those 2,000, take 5 to a run with you or to a lifting session with you, those 5 become either clients or best friends or both. Because they will have had, everybody goes to after parties, everybody goes to grab drinks. It's fun for the moment, but what you share in a moment that's not that is a pattern interrupt. That is okay. I'm training with the speaker. They get to know you. They get to do so much stuff with you that eventually they will trust you so much they will want to buy from you, or they will refer you to everybody else without working with you.
Yeah.
That's that's the opposite. That's like great damn personal branding. It's something unique.
It's just something
original, and you left a memory in them.
Yeah. And it's like, Seb and I had a private conversation a few weeks ago, and he's like, you really need to lean into like, my background and my story. And I think this kind of ties into what we're talking about is, I was a 300-pound kid, high school dropout, literally living out of the cab of my truck 12 years ago.
Really?
And at a Flying J in Whiteland, Indiana. And it's all beautiful baseball fields now. And for me, like, that was a very, very low point in my life as a 18, 19, 20 or 19, 20-year-old. And I just kind of made a decision in that moment, like, hey, I come from a lower middle class family. This is kind of like the norm of like the struggle bus of life. And I was just like, I just refuse to accept this. And it's funny because like when I run into people that knew me, 12, 13 years ago, it's like, who the hell is this guy? Like, this is not the Garrath any of us knew at 20. But for me, like where I was really blessed is when I was in the military, like, again, I didn't go out and party. I didn't waste my time. I just like used those 5 years, those 4 years to really sink my teeth into who do I want to be? What do I want to be about? How am I going to get there, etc. And so that's so ingrained in me now that like, I just can't like, I'm a personal guy and I love human beings and all those things, but like sometimes it's hard to keep that intensity toned down because it's like I needed that intensity to get to where I'm at today. So it's such an ingrained part of me. And through that process, it was like, in my 20s, I might have had like 100 drinks throughout my entire 20s, right? Like that was a big deal to me. I took a lot of pride in that of like, okay, I'm not doing what my family would do. I'm not doing what my hometown friends would be doing. And so, for me, it's like he said, it's a pattern interrupt, but it's not something I'm forcing. It's just a natural extension of like my thinking process of like, yeah, I'd love to go schmooze over, an old fashioned, but I would actually much rather have a conversation while we're on like a 3-mile run or a 5-mile run and just get to know you as a human and get you to open up in an environment that's a little more personable and a little more comfortable for you to do so. And so, I don't know, that's just kind of how I think about it. But I think, how I think personal brand also should include, as you're building it, it should also include, Amy, you made a great point, like these facades that people put up. You're missing the beauty of building a personal brand by not sharing the struggles, by not sharing the failures, by not sharing the hard times, because that's how you truly connect with people, because that's what everybody's going through. Everybody's going through some shit. And if you're just putting up this facade, like you're perfect, you got it all figured out, everything's just working well for you, you completely disconnect yourself from the people who would probably love to do business with you in the long run.
Right.
So I think sharing those deeper, like, shit, it took me 9 months to figure this business out. If we didn't make a lot of money and we only had like 2 or 3 clients, and some people come out of the gates and they got 10 clients the first year. That wasn't our story. You know what I mean? We had to figure all of this out. Right. And we wanted to do it the right way. And so, I I don't know. I think that's the part of the personal branding aspect that nobody really considers or talks about, because it's our own egos and our own pride that makes us want to put together this like facade of like, I have it all figured out for you. Come to mama, come to daddy. I got it all figured out.
Well, and I feel like sometimes whenever you do those facades, like you set yourself and your clients up for failure, because they come to you going, you've never had a miss. Like, I know this is going to be a raging success because I've seen everything you've done. You go, oh no, I fucked up a lot. Like, the things I'm doing well now are because I learned a hard ass lesson years ago. Thank you. So your success was someone else's like tough talk with me. And things like that, where you go, so we're not trying to be your, in-house thought leaders and shit like that. We're coming in to partner with you and be like, we've been through things. We've learned from mistakes. So we can tell you, like, please don't do an ad for absolutely no reason, because we tried that and it didn't work. Things like that. So you go, I do feel like this, like sharing those losses sometimes.
I think that's why, like, we were so excited to partner with you guys, and like even Andy, like your husband, is because like you guys are real. It's like we had a conversation with a partner yesterday. We were talking about like, we want to work with people who are just real, and like we know that we can count on you. And like we've vetted a lot of agencies and folks that do what you guys do, and it was like you guys were the first ones that really stood out to us, and it was like they're just being like normal human beings, like not trying to put up this facade. Like I was talking to your husband about fitness the other day on Instagram, you know what I mean? Like we were kind of talking about our journeys with that stuff, and it's like, that's what I enjoy when it comes to building relationships with people. Like that's what I think Seb and I both, not to speak for you, Seb, but I think that's what we enjoy, is like building this company with the right people and the right partners, not just like who can make us look a certain way.
Oh, also, I hate agencies. Like, except you guys, but I hate agencies. From the big 5 consulting agencies like useless McKinsey and trash Deloitte to the small-time marketing agencies that all lies. I really dislike how agencies operate, because I saw agencies selling to companies like 100K WordPress websites and then fail to deliver even on something that basic. It's like, how do you suck this much, and how are you able to stay in business having a track record of people that you just burn? It's like, okay, here's 100K for a website, next one, because each one of them is going to sue you and you're going to get paid half of it. So that's the business model. And that's why, the importance of vetting partners properly.
Yeah, we are the anti-agency.
That's exactly what I was about to say. We're anti-agency. We're like, oh, that's how the agency you used to work with. Well, congratulations. We do everything completely fucking different.
Honestly.
And that's why they
love us, you hate us. So.
You mean you don't lock me out of my own Facebook ads account? Oh my gosh.
No.
Yeah, that's
You're
the best one, honestly.
Email that says ROI with
nothing
to back it up. What?
You mean your reports don't just count impressions?
Yeah.
That's a successful campaign. We reached 2 million people.
It's crazy.
You know who we haven't had on here?
Who?
Roger. We haven't had Roger on.
What's he over here? He's laying on the couch right now, just snoring like an adult man.
Easy.
I love that story. You found him on the side of the road, right? Or something like that?
Yes. He ran under my car while I was on my way back from parent-teacher conferences. And it was raining and dark. The man behind me got out and was like, there's a puppy under your car. And he was covered in like mud and he smelled terrible. And I was like, this is the last thing I want to put in my vehicle ever. And here he is, sleep on my couch.
I know. Now he's sleeping on your couch, getting fed.
Living his
really
best
worked out for Roger.
Yeah, it only worked out for Roger. The rest of us are just surviving.
That's so funny.
So
usually does make an appearance though, and of course, all of mine are in the kennel. There was a wreck on our street, and so the sirens are going off, and I'm like, nope, y'all gotta go sit in your houses.
Yeah,
because they will howl.
We've got we live in a small town, but somehow we've got like the most feral dog population ever, and like not feral, but like every day there's missing dogs just running around everywhere.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know if this is like, I don't know. Animals are weird. When I was like 12, I was
Garrath, you keep You're telling me that the place is full of stray aggressive dogs and your internet connection sucks? I swear. Sometimes you're calling me from Bin Laden's cave. I told you that once.
He told me that yesterday.
I don't know. Too many hints. Next thing you're gonna tell is like, this it's so hot
That's
in here.
funny.
The sand from the desert. I'm gonna go, what?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, the weirdest thing I've seen animals do, I was like 12 years old and we lived in the neighborhood right in front of the four-way where like 4 streets intersected. And I'm like outside at like 1 o'clock in the morning with my friends one night. And we're just sitting on like this like concrete storm drain structure, just chilling and talking. I think I was whittling, to be honest with you. That's how old school I am. And across all 4 streets, literally like 1 a.m. on the dot, here comes like a group of cats on each street. It was like 10 cats in each group, and they all meet in the middle of the road and they form a big, huge pack. And then this yellow tabby cat became like the leader of the group. And there's like 25 cats following this yellow tabby like through the neighborhood. And like watching it play out, I was like, this is like legitimately
Were they
like,
walking, like snapping their fingers like this?
I'm surprised they weren't. I'm surprised they weren't.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Like the Power Rangers, they form Voltron together.
That's so funny. Were they snapping their fingers? Oh, that is awesome.
How did we end up talking about fake cats? It was marketing 3 seconds ago.
I don't even know. I honestly,
I don't know.
I just had an ADHD moment. It's all good.
It's fine.
That's really how these always go. It's the best. So
Yeah,
one of us has our
yeah.
ADHD moment. So
Also, Lee is killing me in the comments. Like, the Mike Tyson quote is one of my favorite quotes ever.
I was going to say, hang on, let's go back to this. Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth, but it's true.
It is true.
So
Yeah.
Although I've never
is
actually
true.
physically been punched in the mouth, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah, me
I
too.
haven't. Surprisingly, I haven't.
Yeah.
So
Have you ever,
I've been
have
punched
you
in the
ever
mouth
punched
several
somebody in the?
times.
Have you? I've never.
I do kickboxing for fun, so it's
right.
It's part of the deal.
Yeah, like
It's not
that's the best part about this is it's like, I got a business partner. I'll just get my business partner on you. He'll kick your ass. Literally. He will literally kick your ass.
That's
I
how we
tell
get
people
rid of
that all the time
competition.
about Kat too. I'm like, oh really? I'm going to send this to Kat. Let's see what she says about this.
That's so funny.
I'm only stern when I need to be. So
That's the good thing about partnerships. So you can play good cop, bad cop
yeah,
all the
Yeah.
time.
it's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
So,
It
Kat,
does
I feel
take
like
a
we do
lot
that
for
well.
people to think that Kat's scary. I'm like, you're worried about her?
People are scared
Really?
of me for some reason, and I don't understand it because I'm like, I'm the nicest person.
I'm like, I'm the one over here running my mouth. Why are y'all worried about her?
we know if we deal with Amy, we know if we piss off Amy, we got to deal with Kat. That's what it is.
And I'm like, I don't get it because I'm so nice. Like,
Yeah, that is funny.
Oh,
That
Good
is
time.
awesome. We're gonna have to do this again. I think are we planning on making this like a regular bi-weekly? Or
yeah,
yeah.
so.
think so.
is it bi-weekly or semi-monthly? What's the correct term there?
I say
What?
yes.
What is
I'm gonna
semi-monthly?
I'm gonna say bi-weekly too, because I'm like, yeah, I know that means twice a week, but I don't give a shit.
No, every
Bi-weekly means once every 2 weeks. Come
yeah.
on.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
some
what it'll
people are
always
like,
be to
"Oh,
me.
twice a week." And I'm
Yes.
like, no. It's
Yeah.
every other month, every other week.
every other week.
Yeah,
Every other week. Yeah, because if not bi-weekly, it means once every 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would be
Yeah.
twice a week.
Yeah, we can't do that. That's a lot. People
yeah,
would-
yeah.
People are like,
Yeah.
how many opinions do y'all have? Like,
We
We could
got a
make
whole
this
lot.
This could be a daily show. I don't care. Opinions forever on everything.
Oh my
I've
god,
got
we'll be
those
like
soapboxes.
the
There we go. I'm
we'll
so
be like the
dark.
doctors,
Sorry.
but
I'm like the goth over here.
yeah. Is it getting ready to storm out there for you guys?
Yeah.
yeah.
I know it's coming.
As I say, the
So-
wind picked up a second ago, and I was like, oh, here we go.
I saw Evan in the comments. I saw Evan in the comments earlier. I can't believe like his house didn't get touched that last time. Because like what was that, a month ago? We had like 7 or 8 tornadoes in like 3 hours here. It was nuts.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, I'm like, my neighbors' yards were all flooding. So I'm out here with a shovel with my neighbors digging trenches across 4 different yards just to reroute all this water to the river. It wasn't doing shit. It really wasn't. It was a waste of time. Like the rain was just coming down so much. Like I was like, maybe if we build trenches, you know, I'm out there like going super dad mode. This is like the moment all dads live for. Like, we're gonna solve this problem.
I have never seen a tornado in my life.
Let's dig trenches. We'll reroute the water. It didn't work at all.
Like trying to mop it up. What are you doing out there?
Oh man, that is so funny. I can't believe you've never seen a tornado.
Never.
Do they have those in Germany?
No, Europe, we don't have tornadoes.
What?
What do you have? Do you have any natural like weather, Mother Nature?
You mean earthquakes every like, I don't know, every never, and sometimes we have like very strong storms, but they never turn into tornadoes. Especially Germany is very windy, but I've never seen a tornado in my life. I would love to, by the way. I know it sounds irrational, but you know,
very
not
scary.
ideal.
No,
and there've been so many here lately that like, oh my gosh, last night we got out to go get dinner, and it was, you know, Murray is now a weatherman. He has decided I'll just bypass you people who are going to tell me it's going to be fine, and I will just watch the weather myself. So he has all the alerts set up on his phone, and so it's like severe thunderstorm. He's like, "Do we need to go get dinner? There's a severe thunderstorm." I'm like, "It's going to rain. You're fine." Yeah. On the way there, he's like, "I think that's a tornado. I think this is a funnel lowering." And I was like, "Oh my God, just sit down. You're fine."
We have a Bono though, so I was at the softball fields and booked it home because I'm like, I'm getting my car in the garage. Like,
baseball parent. I mean, these baseball leagues are crazy. Like, I'm a head coach of an 8U team, and it's like, hey, we got lightning hitting buildings, so I think we could still squeeze it in. You know, I think we shouldn't. You know, maybe we should like take this one off. And it's like they will do anything to get that game in. It's just the wildest thing. I'm like, we can just reschedule for tomorrow.
Commitment is commitment.
Yeah.
I am so scared of lightning. I don't know what my parents did to me, but they had me convinced. Like, if you are outdoors and you can see the lightning, it's going to get you. And so I'm like, inside, everybody inside.
I was raised in the belief that if it's lightning, you can't take a shower or a bath because you'll die.
You'll die. Yeah.
I was raised on the same thing. My grandma used to like tell us that.
Yeah. I don't know if it's true, but
I'll never test it.
I'm not gonna lie. I doubt my grandma on it, but you know, I'm not gonna doubt that.
I still like,
you know what,
my
grandma,
kids are being raised that way too. Like, it started storming last night and lightning. I'm like, everybody get in the shower quick before the lightning hits. And they're like, okay.
It's funny.
I'm not the only one.
I know two people. I know two people who've been struck at baseball games, and that's why I'm like, I'm not even messing around with it. Him and I have a mutual friend who is like the group meteorologist, and he lives like 30 minutes from me. And it's like when the storm systems are coming through, he's texting me, "Hey brother, you know, hope the family's doing good. I wanted to make sure you know that we got a big system moving through." It's like, we're good, man. We're good. We're on it. But yeah, those are the best people.
Yeah, Ryan Vaughn for 3 hours. I become a meteorologist instantly when we're in any type of TourCon. Me and Ryan Vaughn are besties at that point, and I have thunder buddies. Like, I'll text Sam and be like, "Hey, it's coming." It's, you know, like,
yeah.
I'm gonna be watching.
Ryan Vaughn is our local meteorologist that people are like, he is my child's godfather. We want him to take rainwater and baptize our children. Like, we believe in Ryan Vaughn.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, you gotta watch him. Anyway, all right. It's 11.
Well,
time flies.
Here's to a chill weekend.
Yeah, hopefully.
As the tornado alarm goes off.
Is it going off right now?
It's just that weekly, like,
testing.
You know, they're like, we're just gonna keep you on your toes. You know?
I think it's just a normal, like a siren.
By the way, I got bad news. I gotta leave you because I got a call I need to help somebody with in like 2 minutes ago.
We're done anyway.
Oh, sorry. As I say, we're done. Bye, everybody. We'll see you in.
See you guys. This was awesome.
See you in 2 weeks.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.